the interventions, and I'd like to remind interveners that first we've read all the written material that was given to us in great details, and we got questions about that. On top of that, we've allocated 10 minutes for each intervener to present the essence of their presentation or anything else they'd like to add, so that everybody will have a chance to be heard here. So the first oral presentation is by the Kinipic Métis Local Inc., as outlined in CMD 13H 5.8, and I understand that Mr. Natomagan will be making the presentation. Sir, please proceed.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. For the record, my name is Vince Natomagan, Executive Director of Kinipic Métis Local of Pine House. I am a 43-year-old Métis who grew up on the trap line with my adopted father Simeon, adopted mother Ernestine, grandmother Helen, and grandfather Leon. I have lived and worked in my hometown for all of my life. I am married to a wonderful Métis woman, and we have wonderfully vibrant children with great potential. I would like to take this time to extend my congratulations to you, Mr. Binder, on your recent reappointment as President of the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission. This signals to us that this uranium regulator is strong, vibrant, and is with highest integrity, and we put our faith in CNSC to protect the Canadian public, including our precious life-sustaining traditional lands. On behalf of the constitutionally recognized rights-bearing Métis community of Pine House, I am here to put forward full support of Cameco's 10-year license application for the Cigar Lake mining operation as per our written intervention submission. The Métis community of Pine House is situated 480 kilometers north of Saskatoon. 80% of our 1,450 population is of Métis ancestry, with direct ties to the historical Métis community that existed before effective European control. Our traditional lands and adjacent areas are rich with exploitable natural resources and abundant wildlife that continue to sustain us to this day. For the last 200 years, our community living has gradually shifted from the nomadic way of life along the Churchill River to the current location of Pine House, permanently settled on in the 1920s. Throughout our history, outsiders have had profound influence on our cultural way of life. But we're not here to talk about past wrongs and so forth. Rather, I want to highlight the resiliency of survival and sheer determination of our community to desire to live within a modern economy while trying to preserve our identity and culture. When you walk into our community hall, you will immediately see our vision statement on the wall that reads, "Pine House is a holistic, healthy, self-sustaining community. We will continue to work in unity to reclaim our community through positive values and Indigenous identity." About 6 years ago, we had the audacity to dream up this vision statement. Little did we know how hard the task of rebuilding our community would be. The first and most important thing we needed to do was come to terms with the sickness of assimilation and start to heal the wounds of broken individuals and divided families. In order to move in any forward direction, we needed to just do it and use the tools that were at our immediate disposal. This meant utilizing our very own people and methodologies to commence family and individual healing. We also recognized that we would not throw away any individual, regardless of age, education, or background. Through strong and visionary leadership, we started down the path of healing. We combined the homegrown Recovery Lake project with the Circle of Courage concept of mastery, independence, generosity, and belonging as our guiding principles to realizing incremental results as per our vision statement. Relying on small community fundraising efforts to improve our social conditions wasn't going to cut it. What we needed was a steady revenue stream that would invest some dollars in social programming and basic community infrastructure like the hockey arena. On the morning of May 17, 2007, we took the bold step of sending 6 community members to Cameco's Key Lake mine site in the hopes of securing some labor work. Cameco personnel must have wondered who these 6 individuals were, with paintbrushes and hammers in hand. Through constant lobbying and thousands of kilometers to Cameco corporate office and the Key Lake mine site, we started to slowly gather momentum. About 3 years ago, we realized that we would not reach our dream of being an independent northern community by painting handrails or hammering nails. We needed to professionalize our economic arm, Pinehouse Business North. With the help of Westcap management from the Bridge program, we have been able to grow our company by adding capacity, making better business decisions, and investing in joint venture partnerships. We are proud to say that in 2012, our economic arm, Pinehouse Business North LP, realized retained earnings of $3.75 million. Generally speaking, it has been a positive experience working for Cameco Corporate and the mine sites. There have been substantial effort by mine site personnel to come to a full understanding of what a northern contractor is and the skill set that could be brought forward if given the chance. Although it is challenging at times, the mine sites are starting to give northerners a fair shake at contracting opportunities. As rights holders, we have a constitutional and inherent responsibility to protect our traditional land and adjacent areas, for this is what sustains us. We will continue to rely on the land for generations to come. Our language and culture might be challenged at times, but we will always depend on the land for subsistence. Through rigorous and redundant environmental legislation, we believe Cameco is doing its part in protecting the environment for our children and grandchildren. Through its internal administrative controls, we believe Cameco meets or exceeds these regulatory expectations. It is because of this fact that the Métis community of Pinehouse signed a historic collaboration agreement with Cameco Corporation on December 12, 2012. We knew that this obligatory agreement simply formalized what was already in place, a vibrant and rigorous relationship with Cameco at the corporate, mine site, and community level. This collaboration agreement now sets out a protocol process of active and formalized community engagement by way of a 5-member environmental committee to address any environmental considerations within our traditional lands, formalizing the trust fund agreement with a legal trustee, and forming a 6-member joint implementation committee to ensure effective implementation of all the pillars of the CA. This historic agreement now gives us a sense of assurance in terms of economic revenue streams to effectively start to alleviate our social ills and to start adequately addressing our infrastructure deficits. We are a very determined bunch in Pinehouse. We have learned to get up each morning with pride on our faces, knowing that the day ahead holds promise, a day that is better than yesterday. Although we appreciate outside feedback sometimes, we will listen to our own voices and our own hearts. We will do it our way. A small bit of anecdotal evidence might be the fact that the Métis community of Pinehouse was named Northern Saskatchewan Community of the Year in 2012 at the Northern Justice Symposium. The local RCMP also notified our Reclaiming Our Community group that Pinehouse had the lowest crime rate in 2011-2012 as compared to other northern communities. We also have some positive feedback from social services that client numbers are steadily decreasing. This is surely good news. In closing, we believe that Cameco Corporation desires a win-win scenario with northern communities, provided that there is homework and due diligence. We believe that Cameco can continue to provide clean energy to the world while being mindful of its regulatory and social obligations. In the spirit of collaboration and mutual benefit, we fully support Cameco Corporation's 10-year license application for the Cigar Lake mining operation. Thank you.